Day number 9, yarn day. So again, quite easy to get into this time. Oh, I do make a mess of things. Right, let's see what gorgeous yarns we've got today. Oh, knew it was going into the yellows because the last one, can you remember, it was very, very pink and then it was starting to do yellows and creams. Well, this is why, because this is the colour it's going to slowly move into on the scarf. That is really, really nice. Let me show you better. Sometimes I get really close, but oh, it's too much. That should do. Yeah, scowling again. Right, so that is lovely. Again, same quality because they're going to be, because they've all got to link together as a project. So that was our day number 9. Oh, I can't believe how fast it is going. I'm going to have to rearrange again because as you can see the top bit's getting bare. So I'm going to have to move them up so you can actually see them all. So we'll know as they start to disappear that your time is ringing out. I hope you're getting organised for Christmas, and if you've got some Christmas makes to make, if you're as busy as I am, you're having fun. But never mind, it's all good fun. We all enjoy doing our crafting, and I'm sure the recipients of your gifts will really, really appreciate it because they understand the love that goes into that work. So we're going to be moving on to our project next. That was quite a quick intro today. So hope to see you in a couple of minutes on the tutorial. If you're not watching the tutorial, you're only watching the yarn because you're collecting it yourself. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Hi, day 9. As you can see, I've got my little number 9 here. And this is what we're going to be doing. Now, this is a fake cactus. Now, I had it in a little Winnie the Pooh pot that I broke. So I've used it because I wanted to cover it. So now I can put it back out. Now I'm just checking my phone. People always phone when I'm trying to do it. Never mind. So here we go. It's nice and easy. As simple as the chocolate orange covers. In fact, it might even make one of those. I don't know, I had thought about that, but I haven't done one. And we're going to be using a cotton because I wanted it a little bit stiffer than if I was just using a DK yarn. Obviously, here's my gorgeous yarn from Rosie's Moments. I'm a number 9, and I'm still going to stick to my Father Christmas themed stitch marker because it goes with the project at hand. I also do have this, which is what I actually did his belt buckle in because it was a metallic. You could do it in a yellow, it doesn't have to be a metallic, but this is just an old, I've had this years actually. It's just a Madeira embroidery cotton, really, I suppose. I did have to do it double though, so that is another thing I used. Number 3.5mm crochet hook and my scissors and pen as per. So we'll pop that over there a little bit. We will need the stitch marker for this one, and we're going to be starting with the red. There's only 2 rounds of the actual black. It is going to be predominantly red, this one. So we're going to start like I start every piece of my work. 1 slip knot. And into that we're going to do 2 chain. Into the first chain we have our 6 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now into each of those 6 we're going to do 2, so double check where your 6 is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there it is, 6. So 2 into each to give us 12. Don't need the stitch marker yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. At least this one's a little bit easier to sort of explain than yesterday's. I do hope that was clear enough for everybody because he comes out gorgeous, but it was just a little bit difficult to explain how to change from one colour to the other. That was the only problem there. Right, we're going to do another 2 in each because we've got 12 at the moment. We're now 2 in each to give us our 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll put the stitch marker in next time I think, 5, 6, that's halfway, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and our last one, number 12. So now we have 24 stitches. So I'm going to pop our little stitch marker in. Let's even got a little sparkly gem bit at the top. So we'll pop him in there. Passing it up. It's a little bit big until we get a bit further, but it's easy, especially as I'm talking, so as I don't lose where we are. So popping that back in, we have another increase, but this time it's 2 in 1 stitch and then 1 in each of the next 2 times 8. So here we go, we have 2 in the first one, 1 in each of the next 2. That's the little pattern you're going to follow. It's a 2 in 1 and a 1 in 2. We should end up with 32 stitches at that point. So I'm not going to count, I'm just going to follow my stitch marker. Now this little pot, as much as I've put it around a cacti, it could be a little trinket pot. Again, your plants might actually be different sizes, so I'm just going to mention that in a second when we get a little bit further on. But you can get lots of these miniature cacti now in little pots, so you could use a real one. The only thing is it would end up getting a little bit soggy perhaps, so it's maybe not a good idea, but there's loads and loads of fake ones out there at the moment. And they're actually quite impressive. They actually do look like cacti. I've got real ones on my windowsill in the kitchen, but this one is because I got it because I like the Winnie the Pooh pot, which I have now gone and broken. So I think this is the last one. 2 in 1, 1 in 2. So we now have our 32 stitches. We're going to just do a plain double crochet round, so no stopping starting, just all the way around. Make sure you pick up both stitches. What I do like about the cotton as well, apart from the fact it makes it slightly stiffer, especially if it's going to be a trinket pot rather than just something around a plant, you can see the stitches so much better. So it gives more definition. The only problem comes with more definition is if you make a mistake, it also shows more. I'm throwing my scissors about. So I was trying to move them and move my pen at the same time. So we just double crochet all the way around. Got bits of polystyrene on the wool. I'm just looking because this little fake cacti, the base of it's all like polystyrene. So as I've been trying to make it, there's been these little tiny polystyrene balls dropping off everywhere. That's going nice and flat. So just double crochet around to our stitch marker. Couple more, I think. Are we there yet? Let's see, try and line it up. 1 more, maybe 2. I think 2 more actually. There we go. So that was just a double crochet round. We have another increase round, and this time it's going to be 2 in the first one and then 1, 2, 3. Yep, so we have 2 in 1 and 1 in 3. So 1, 2 and 3. 2 in 1, 1 in 3. 1, 2, 3. 2 in 1, 1 in 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's halfway already. You're going to follow that combination around. It should actually give you 8 sets of the 2 in 1, 1 in 3, and that will ultimately give us 40 stitches. Now I'm going to just mention the fit in a second, how I work mine out, just in case your pot is slightly larger or smaller. I mean, it doesn't matter actually. I suppose if it's too small, that's not great, but I don't think it matters if it's a little bit larger, because it will sit straight in it. should be my last one. It is. Now I need to move my stitch marker because I can't really see its position. You should really move them up every 2 or 3, because otherwise you might end up doing an extra increase. Now what I basically did with this, I just sort of measured the base like that, and if it came edge to edge of what I was wanting, that was more than enough. Then we're going to start just doing straight rows. Now can you see there's a little ridge here? That is because our next straight row is only going to be in the back loop of each stitch. Again, because it's cotton, it'll show nice for me to be able to show you. So you know you've got your 2 little pieces here, 2 parts of your chain. Well, we're only going in the back one, and you do a double crochet. Back one, do a double crochet. I'll do a few and I'll show you how you can tell that you're doing it right. Can you see how I'm getting a line there? That means we're going in the right part. I mean, you could carry on doing it all in the back loop and you get like a sort of a line all the way. I thought that was a knot then, it wasn't. It's a piece of sort of where it's roughened a bit. So again, it's just a double crochet round, and that's all we're going to do now. They're just double crochet rounds, and you'll have obviously a little change in colour there. So this is a double crochet into the back loop all the way around. It helps the turn a little bit, so it gives you more of a base before you start going straight. You can just do it round, but I think this makes it a little bit sharper. Oh, it's in the way. Move out of the way there. It's nice now because I can actually pop my little cactus back out, but then I'll pop him back in my Christmas box, and then next year he can come back out again. Because he's been sat on the side after I broke the pot, wondering what I was going to do, and then I thought, oh, that'll be perfect for one of the projects. So can you see there's a little line all the way around? So it just helps give it a little bit more shape when we're turning. That's the only reason I've done it. It's not compulsory, you don't have to do it. We are now going to have just double crochet rounds, and we're going to have 5 in the red. Again, your pot may be shorter than mine, so you may want to do maybe 1 less either side. I think the belt still needs to be the 2 because you need a little bit of sort of thickness there, but you can decide on the length of your pot, or if you just want it as a trinket pot, well, you'll see how it goes as we do it, so we can sort of work out what height you would want it at. So we're now just double crochets, remembering we're using UK terms. But if you do crochet relatively regular and you're not brand new, you will see the stitch I'm doing. Obviously in the US this is a single crochet. So it's like with the chocolate orange, this bit, this is the boring bit. So if you do want to fast forward at all, I am doing, for the size I've got here, I am doing 5 rounds in red. So I think there's actually a couple more stitches from the chocolate orange one, I can't remember. You see we're starting to curve round a bit. You know, the kids playing over the road. We're over the road from school and they are making a noise. I don't mind it. Right, we're almost round. So again, my trusty pen comes out, and that is number 1. So we need 4 more on that. If you're still with me, just take it nice and steady. If you want to stop and pause what I'm doing, if I'm going a little bit too fast, you can do that also. Or you can remember, you can slow down in your settings. So the little cog at the top, or at the top, I think it's the bottom of the screen, top of the listing I suppose it is, but bottom of your screen where you're watching this. If you click on that, you can actually choose to slow down or speed up. I don't think you want to speed up though, somehow. The only problem being is my voice changes, so it does sound a little bit silly because it slows my voice down too. But if you're not wanting to listen and you're just wanting to see what the stitches are, it's a great way of taking your time. I'm hoping to do some dolly bits soon. I keep saying I'm going to do that. I know I've done the little dolly bag, but I wanted to do something a little bit more. I need to make something for my smart dolls. I need to have a think. I'd like it to be Christmassy themed, but it doesn't have to be, I suppose. Nearly round for number 2. Yep, it's in line with my stitch marker. That is number 2. So you can see how it's sort of shaping up. So it's coming round. Obviously it needs to be deeper than that, even as a trinket box. I'm trying to think what else you could stand in at. I've actually got a chocolate orange in front of me from some work I'm doing. Very tempted to try it on it. I might do. I'll get a bit further up. In fact, I need to buy some chocolate oranges. This Christmas countdown's getting closer and closer. So we're on round number 3. As I say, we need 5 for the bottom. There's a little bit less for the top. Almost there for the number 3. One more to line up with my stitch marker, and that's number 3 marked off. After you've done the bell, there is actually only another 4 and a slip stitch round. That is it. There's not much to do actually on here. So we're almost there, ready for the black. This is a bamboo cotton mix that I'm using. It's not just 100% cotton. I think the bamboo makes it a little bit softer. I think I would have preferred maybe to have done it in a pure cotton, but I haven't got that in the red. I've got it in the black, but not in the red. So I wanted to keep the yarn consistent. Because as you'll know yourself, just because something says it's a double knit doesn't mean that it's the same thickness as another one. So I think it's good to try and keep your yarns consistent, depending on what you're making, of course. I mean, the one I did yesterday, my little Santa, his is a bit mixed. Sometimes you don't have a choice. Almost round for number 4. Oh, look at that. That's the only other thing with cotton you do have to watch. Because when it splits, oh, it's just dropped on the floor. It'll be all right for a few minutes. When it splits, it splits. But it doesn't have to be done in cotton. There's no reason why you can't just use a normal double knit or an acrylic or any other type of yarn. If you wanted to make a chunkier one, if you've got a larger plant, you could just do exactly the same in a chunky yarn. Right, we're round. That is number 4. We have one more round before the black comes in. And now you can see we have a proper little basket. And can you see how that line just helps it sort of sit a little bit better? So last round, and we'll get ready to change your colours. Got some of our Christmas decorations up now. The tree's up and the details are on it, and I've got a few more ornaments to pop on it, otherwise it's done. So there's a few more things to put up yet. I seem to be behind everybody else. The amount of people that have got theirs up really quick this year. I mean, it looks lovely. I love to sort of go past where all the houses have got the lights on. Last year was a bit plain round here, but for some reason this year everyone's putting the lights on, which is great. Especially when the grandchildren see it, because they're 4 and 1 and they get really excited. Right, we're almost round on this 5th round. and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to join my yarn. You do not have to do it this way. Whichever way you choose to join your yarn up, you go with it. Obviously we have to try and minimize any dips, but I will show you what I do in a second because we're nearly there. Line, ta-da! I am for this one going to cut it off because I don't like running yarn up too much. If it's a one row, I will sort of run it around and crochet in like I did yesterday, but generally I don't like to do that. So here we go. Ta-da! Black bits of polystyrene again. Now you can see at the back, because we're going on a spiral system, it's very hard not to get that. You will get that slight difference. It's almost impossible unless you're stopping and starting. Amigurumi doesn't work like that, so I'm just going to go with the method that I know. So we're going to pull it through the red, pull the red nice and tight, and we're just going to do a double crochet. You will need to knot that before you sew it in as well, don't forget, because otherwise it will go loose. It's nice when you change colour, especially when you're doing something a little bit tedious where it's just row up, round after round after round. There is only 2 rounds of the black. And we're well over halfway. What are we doing for timing? Oh, just positioned it so I can't see it. The little clamp that holds the phone is just over it. I don't think it's a long job, this though. I think it makes quite a cute little gift or just home decoration. Nearly there. I love the colour black. I love the effect that black makes. On average, I absolutely hate crocheting in it because you read really good light. I mean, luckily while I'm doing it like this, I do have quite a large lamp over me, so the light's good, but if I was just doing it generally, I have to sort of make sure it's daylight preferably. I don't like to have these big lamps on all the time. Alright, so that's 1 round. Number 2 round. I will say where this joins like this, I would make that the back, because it's not a massive dip, but you don't want to be seeing the sort of change. You want it to sort of look like it's balanced at the front there. Also, using black, I know cotton, you can sort of see through it a little bit like that because of the background I've got, but generally it's really hard to demonstrate in a black because people can't see where the stitches are. I mean, if I just do that, you probably can because it's a cotton, but it is really hard to see. If that was an acrylic, you wouldn't be able to notice it at all. Almost round on this one, and then we're going to be changing back to the red. Again, I've made this specifically to fit that size, so you can actually stop at whatever height that you want for your plant pot. Just try and make his belt approximately in the middle. I've done mine slightly above middle because I felt that's where it sat. It's looked right. But if you are making it a little bit longer, be aware of where that belt's going to sit. Right, I would say I am there. So that's my belt done. Snip the yarn. We don't need that one anymore. Back to our red. Pulling it through that one and into the first stitch, making sure this is nice and tight, and as I said, I will tie those off when I have finished. So round we go. I love to see the red and black contrast. I think it really stands out nicely. We only have 4 rounds of this, or whatever your desired length of your pot is going to be. When I get round this one, we'll look how it's standing. So if you did want to just use it as a little trinket pot. Yep, looking good. The only thing is I'm making this, this one will be a trinket pot because obviously I broke the other cactus pot. That is why I had a spare cactus to put in it, but I don't have any other spare cactus. So I'm going to have to find something else, some sort of Christmas item perhaps that I've got downstairs. Almost round. Two more. And that's our one, so I'm going to mark that one down. Remember, we've only got 4 rounds now, so you can see it is sitting as quite a nice little basket actually. I'm just looking at this, I'm saying nice little basket, I'm thinking, oh, that'd make a nice little bag. So we may have to think about that, but I don't want to obviously follow the same pattern for you. You want to see something different, but if any of you were making a bag for a doll, you've got a really cool bag there. Right, another round. It's a problem, I get distracted with everything, thinking about something else rather than what's actually on hand. I think it will stand quite well actually, just for a little pot to drop things in. Put some sweets in it perhaps. A bit too small to go on the bottle of a wine bottle. Just trying to think what else you could do. So this is our second round. As I said, there's only 4 and a final slip stitch round if you want to do it. I know some people are really sort of dislike slip stitches with a passion, so you don't have to do it. I just think it neatens the top up a bit. I can hear the stitch marker as I'm going round, so I know when I'm getting near it because it's tinkling. I'm not overly using it, to be honest, because I can see where I started on the belt, so I know where it actually marks it, but I'll leave it in there anyway. 2. We want 2 more. Careful, if it splits, undo it. It is not worth trying to pick it up because it will only end up looking messy. Can you see, if I try and pick that up, there's this tiny bit there that you've missed. So best thing to do is take it out completely, because it's nothing worse, because you can't exactly snip it off afterwards, but it's not great to see a tiny bit of yarn sticking through. You can get that with acrylic sometimes, but I think it is more of a sort of thing with a cotton, because I think the strands are a little bit more defined. So we're on number 3. Almost round. My tinkly stitch marker. Oh, see, done it again. Can you see? So take it out. Don't try messing. It will not go back neat if you do. Beauty of crochet, you're only taking a few stitches out and it does not affect anything below where you're working. One of the main reasons I don't get on with knitting, Because if you drop a stitch, if it runs, it's hard work. And you can't guarantee it will look the same. Unless you're obviously very good at it. Right, last round. So there's 40 stitches, so we're counting down now. I'm going to actually take my stitch marker out now because he's getting a little bit in the way at the bottom. As cute as he is. If you're still with me, we're nearly there, don't worry. If you've skipped past, obviously you can't hear me, I will see you in a minute. So this is 4 rounds. You know, I keep thinking about that bag shape I've just done now. I think I need to do some of them. I think they're more of a summer bag for the doll though. But there again, depending on where you live in the world, it could actually be warm. Just because it's freezing cold here. And for whatever reason, my craft room does not like to heat up, even though the heating is on. Right, I'm round. So, slip stitch time. If you want to do a slip stitch round, you don't have to, you can finish it there. My slip stitch, I have a sort of a little technique of doing it. So you're going in, you're pulling it through. I sort of twist because I want it to come out that way. But basically you're just pulling it through. It makes a tighter edge. So it's not like a double crochet, be careful because you will automatically double crochet when you do this. All you're doing is just pulling it through those loops. You're not creating another stitch. I think apart from neatening it up, it also sort of stiffens it as well, pulls it in very slightly, which depending on what you're doing, that can make a difference to your work. This is the last bit, apart from actually sewing in and sewing a little design on for the belt buckle, because just those few stitches I think makes a massive difference. So at the moment it's just a red and black pot. The second you put that buckle on, you know instantly you've got a Father Christmas there. You'll know when you get round as well with this, because you can't go into the stitch when you've already done a slip stitch. Well, you can, but it's very, very difficult. So I'm coming up. Last one. And fasten off. Or not fasten off. There we go. I think those scissors are starting to get a bit blunt because they get used for everything else apart from just my yarn. So I'm just going to shove those inside for now. Let's see how it sits. Yeah, I actually think it sits quite nice as a little pot. So you could put various things in, and say it might be quite nice to pop some sweets in there. I'm going to try it. I've got my chocolate orange here. Oh my, it fits. Look at that. It has that ridge, which I don't have on my others, but you could actually put it over a chocolate orange. Shouldn't have done that. That's not what it was for, but I couldn't resist. The orange was there. So I think that's quite cute. Now I use this Madeira, as I say, to do it. I did use 2 strands though, because it's not very thick. If you've got a different metallic, maybe a thick crochet cotton metallic, I have got some somewhere and I cannot find them. So I just basically snip the 2 and just made a knot. Let's get rid of that end bit. I don't like it to be too long. Where's my needle gone? It's here. Shall we use the wool one? We will. So I've just used 2 strands. As I was talking then I realised I have got a thicker one that I could have done it with, which might have looked a little bit better. So if you've got a thick crochet cotton in gold, I think it makes a difference. You can do it in yellow, but I do think it makes a difference. So I'm deciding is approximately my front. I want to just catch the stitch, not in between, because otherwise your knot will just come straight through. Case of lining up straight down. Now I actually did my two sides first before I did the other bits, because I wanted to make sure they were straight. Can you see, just lining it up? Yep. And then we can go back to the first one and across. I'm going to take it back down there. And across. Ta-da! That makes an absolute world of difference to give it a little gold belt. So I hope you enjoyed doing that. I hope you got a little pot to pop some bits and bobs in there, because I think that's sturdy enough to pop some sweets in. I think that would be quite nice. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Please like, subscribe and share. Click on that notification bell if you do want to see any of my future videos. And hope those preparations for Christmas are going well. See you soon. Bye.